King Charles leads commemorations around the UK to honour those who've died in conflict. On the stroke of 11 this morning, the King and other members of the royal family observed a 2-minute silence. Pressure mounts on the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, after yesterday's violence during protests in London.
7 people have been charged following yesterday's marches through central London, which coincided with Armistice Day commemorations. Police made 145 arrests during the pro-Palestine demonstration and counter-protest by far-right groups. Charges relate to offences including assault, possession of weapons, criminal damage, inciting racial hatred and possession of drugs. Meanwhile, today at the Cenotaph in Whitehall, people gathered for the National Service of Remembrance. The service honours the contribution of military and civilian servicemen and women in the First and Second World Wars and all conflicts since. Those who attended reflected on the current conflict in the Middle East.
Sadly, I think we're not learning from our mistakes in this world. You only have to look at what's going on now. We really have to pay attention to what happened years and years ago. And I think it's very sad when people forget what people went through.
Critically important to remember our heritage, to remember what's important and brings us all together as families, as a society, and to understand where we need to be as we move into the future.
It's a shame that what we're remembering today, all those wars, we're still fighting today across the globe, and people are not sitting around the table and discussing and working out a better solution for the future.
And whilst the capital's centre was the focus of national commemorations, other London communities held their own events. In Brixton, the largest black-led remembrance service in Europe took place, and this year it was adapted to recognise the Israeli-Gaza conflict, as Anna Greary reports.
All fell silent in Brixton. A moment to reflect on the contribution of African and Caribbean soldiers who fought in the First and Second World Wars. And this afternoon, there was one particularly special attendee.
Today I welcome you all who have turned out in this cold weather to pay tribute to those who made the sacrifice to come and serve this nation and to keep the then Commonwealth together.
Neil Flanagan was one of more than 10,000 from the West Indies who answered Britain's call to join the armed forces. He served as a technician in Bomber Command. 99 balloons were released in honour of the 99-year-old. The event was open to people of all faiths and backgrounds. It was particularly emotional for Rabbi Herschel Gluck and the Jewish families he supports amid escalating conflict in Gaza and Israel.
Deeply poignant because freedom is such an important aspect of human life. So therefore we need to cherish it and appreciate it and make sure that the light of freedom keeps on burning.
Freedoms defended by those who have fallen. The day, an acknowledgement of their service and sacrifice. Anna Geary, ITV News.
Whilst the King led the nation this morning at Whitehall, honouring soldiers who died in past conflicts, a veteran from Croydon helped to commemorate some of the heroes of the First World War. Jessica Ure went along to meet him.
Every year, a procession signifies the start of New Addington's Remembrance Sunday. But this year, a special guest is joining in. Michael Lyons is almost 90.
Good morning, pleased to see you.
A former paratrooper, he himself fought to defend Britain. But in recent years, he's been fighting a different battle. Michael is telling the story of 26 World War I soldiers, forgotten when they died in an asylum whilst being treated for post-traumatic stress. Later, they were buried in an unmarked grave in Croydon, but Michael's campaigning has built them a memorial in a local church and seen their story cemented in time. Today, a candle is lit for each of them.
Today, we brought him back to life. Today, we've given their name back, we've given them a memory back, and we've given their service back.
After the service ends, people gather outside the church to pay their respects.
They were classed as nutters. Some said lack of moral fibre, didn't want to fight. But to think that they was in asylum crying out for the Lord, please help me.
Does it make you proud to see what happened here today?
Well, it really does. It really does. When them candles lit, I knew they were back. We brought them back to life. Well, brought them back to memory, put it that way.
I think it's just about the respect shown to those who laid their lives down, not just in the First World War, but in the Second World War, and the conflicts that have gone on since then, so we can be here today and honour them.
The group then moved on to the local war memorial to join others gathering across the capital, paying their respects to all who lost their lives in conflict. Jessica Yore, BBC London.